We both got an alert. Welcome into this Monday morning edition, the Oxford Exxon Podcast. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford at studio here today. We'll cover the three major men's sports today. Ole Miss had a open spring football practice on Saturday. We watched a good bit of, we watched all the scrimmage. We watched a good bit of practice, I guess I should say. Ole Miss baseball taking 2 out of 3 in Lexington over the weekend. We'll talk about that a little bit, some stuff around the league. And then there's been a lot of, I guess we should say, turnover in the Ole Miss men's basketball program since the last time we talked to you guys. Ronnie Hamilton gone, Levi Watkins gone to Ole Miss assistants there. So plenty to talk about today and more. Last college basketball game of the season tonight, Kansas and North Carolina. Coming to you from New Orleans, for whatever that tip time is. I really don't know, but either way.
8:20 Central.
Oh, late.
It's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. Okay.
It's 9:20 in North Carolina.
That's really dumb.
Yeah, it is.
Kids have no chance. North Carolina 8-year-olds have no chance.
No.
They go to bed maybe at halftime, and even then they've stayed up late. So.
No, it's absurd. It's an hour late.
Yeah, it is. So South Carolina women won the national title last night over UConn.
Oh, really?
They did, yes.
Oh, cool.
33-2, 35-2, something like that.
How about that?
So.
Congrats to them.
Yep. Oxford Exxon, Highway 6 West in Oxford. Lunch specials, $5.69, 2 sides bread, 32-ounce drink. The Exxon mobile app, not the Oxford Exxon app. That'd be cool. But the Exxon mobile app, $10 to you if you will just log into that. Get 1,000 bonus points. You can also take a picture of the QR code right there at the pump. $10 off the tank you were filling up at the time with the Oxford Exxon. Again, coming to you from the Clark Ford studio.
We are. Clark Ford is in Amory, Mississippi. 662-257-1900 is the number. Just call it. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. It's right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. You get your quote. The rest completely up to you. You can shop it around. You can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do. Let's hop into a Clark Ford today. 662-257-1900. Guest join on the Rafters Music and Food Hotline. Rafters Music and Food on the Square in Oxford. Be a great place to grab a burger, a po' boy, appetizer. They got great beer selection, full bar, and more at Rafters on the Square in Oxford, and also Rafters in New Albany.
The line tonight, Kansas favored by 4.5. I don't necessarily like that. I think Kansas is probably going to win, but you can get North Carolina at 165 on a money line. That's not, if you're going to make a bet, that's probably the bet. One game at 165. So. I think that's not the worst deal in the world.
Probably
there.
So. Kansas is really good right now. They'll give Carolina some. Carolina will have to play a great game to win,
which is what they kind of had to do the last several. I guess their region opened up for them, and then they played incredibly well against Duke. Obviously, it was a classic.
They did. Look, Duke got screwed late,
which is interesting.
I mean, Duke got screwed late. That was not a foul. It was a terrible call. It was a terrible call. And a couple of the calls on Williams that got him into foul trouble were terrible calls. It's really the irony of it. There's always been, and rightfully so, a perception that Duke gets calls, and then in a national semifinal, Duke did not get calls. It got screwed, in fact. Just royally screwed.
They were kind of chasing the whistle the whole game. I don't know early on if they were fouls or not, but, I mean, John had 4 fouls in the first half. I think the first 5 fouls of the game were on Duke.
Yeah, the one that sticks out in my mind is the one late. Duke up a point, and Carolina misses, and Love missed a shot, got sent to the line, and you look at the replay, and there's just nothing close. It was you were anticipating a foul.
That never actually came.
But it didn't happen.
Yeah, so... Yeah, 8:20, 4.5 tonight. Kansas favored for the degenerates out there that want to take a shot at it. Come back to it here in a little while. I guess we'll start with football. Actually, that's obviously the primary thing people are around for usually. Although it is spring practice, but I'm not going to talk myself out of it. I'm going to go with it anyway. We had a good many observations up Saturday from the scrimmage. It was gorgeous in Oxford. Good weather for the time in Vaught-Hemingway Stadium. So go check those out. There'll be things in that we're not going to talk about right now because probably, podcasts, you don't get into tons of minutia. I think the biggest thing, though, Neal and I both we're talking to each other in real time as this was going on, but as it played out, Luke Altmaier has really a pretty great day. He was good all the way around. Last Saturday in the first, Kiffin said it wasn't a scrimmage, and I guess he's right because they did not tackle to the ground the first weekend. They did this week. Also, they had done a practice and just kind of came out into the stadium that first weekend to do team stuff instead of just having a scrimmage the entire time.
Right.
For whatever you want to make those semantics. But on Saturday, it was a full-go scrimmage. And Dart was better the first week, we thought. Showed more arm handling, different things. Altmaier on Saturday operated the offense incredibly efficiently. He was very good on the short stuff, very good on the intermediate stuff. Made a couple throws down the field that sort of turned our heads a little bit. Stuff toward the corner, showed some arm strength in those things. I've thought the entire time of the preseason that we've seen, and again, it's only just a couple practices. Remember, sample size is incredibly small right now. I mean,
just bring the hot takes. Bring the hot
Don't even
takes.
Put the caveats on it. Just go.
You saw one throw, and that's all you need to see.
Yeah. Hey, he has the ability to make that throw. That's all that matters. Yep. If you have the ability to make the throw, it's there. So
if it shows up at 1 April practice,
it means it's there.
You can count on it in October. And if it doesn't, well, you know the rest.
Yeah. He used his feet really well. I thought that he moved up into the pocket. I thought he did some footwork things that were kind of above what we'd seen from him in limited work to this point. There was improvement there.
Yeah.
Again, one day, but you get done with the day, we've talked to some people. I think from straight what's happened on the field, Luke Altmaier probably is just a touch ahead here as of April the 4th.
Yeah, I think so. Super early. In an ideal world, in the old days, from like college football of 2018, you'd have an older quarterback on campus, and both of these guys would be in the development phase.
Instead, we've got an 18-year-old and a 19-year-old going at it.
Yeah, they're both super young. Jackson has played 6 games, started 3, so he's got a little more experience. Luke's played in 5 games, essentially started 1. I know he didn't start it, but he played.
Yeah. He's played an actual meaningful snap in 2 games of consequence.
Yeah.
Auburn and Baylor.
So you're going to go in with a really young quarterback one way or the other. I think Luke's 19 right now, barely. Jackson turns 19 in a month.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to play youth. I have giggled at the narrative of, hey, man, quarterback's going to be fine. There's not going to be a step back. Those are 2 different statements. Quarterback is going to be fine. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, yeah, sure.
You're not going to finish the season and go, oh, my God, quarterback was a tremendous liability, and it's the reason we sucked.
But is it going to be the same as it was with veteran Matt Corral? No.
Because Matt Corral wasn't Matt Corral at 19.
Bingo. Right, not even close. Matt Corral took a big jump from 2020 to 2021.
And a hell of a jump from 19 to 20.
As much as some people in the media like to downplay it, It absolutely happened.
Yeah.
Because Matt became a better decision maker, which leads me to the most – we were talking to people in and around the program. The decision-making part is – so Kiffin's got to make two decisions. How much gambling does he want to do offensively?
Mm-hmm.
How safe does he want to be? How important is ball security going to be? If ball security becomes the most important thing, Luke's got a real shot. If he thinks, no, we've really got to gamble, that's more Dart's deal. Dart's more of a
It's just slinging around the yard.
Yeah, I hate the term gunslinger because it implies
it's become so cliche.
Well, and it also implies that you're out there you all care to the.
If a guy throws the ball a bit, you go, hey, he's a gunslinger. He's Brett Favre. It's like, stop.
Yeah.
Quit. Back up. That's not what
because
we're saying.
that won't be tolerated. Hey, we're just going to take chances.
No, that will drive Lane freaking insane.
It'll be the end of you.
Yeah.
But there's a balance. Luke's pretty conservative right now, but it worked on Saturday. It really worked. He was very efficient.
Mm-hmm.
He was very accurate. And it's not to say that Dart was bad because he wasn't at all. He was good, but Dart took a couple of chances down the middle of the field that on a Saturday would a lot of times lead to adversity.
And it's also because of, again, two practices. What we've seen the most of his miss, which is high across the middle. That's the ball Dart misses on the most right now, is that sort of intermediate 10 to 20-yard pass across the middle of the field. He sells it. Well, you're selling that towards safeties.
Late in the practice, he tried to force it, and Tasheem Johnson dropped an interception.
Yeah.
That hit him right between the 2 and the 7.
Tasheem had a frustrating day at safety.
Yeah, he did. He had a rough day. I don't know. We'll see. But again, look, it's April. You don't play games in April. They will not play a game in April. And they won't play a game in June or July or August when you're developing. There's plenty of time to develop as quarterbacks, and that's part of Lane Kiffin's reputation. It's earned over the better part of a decade plus. Probably a little bit more than that.
Sure.
His ability to develop quarterbacks, and he's got a project in front of him because both of these guys have a lot of developing. For both Jackson Dart and Luke Altmaier, their best football's ahead of them.
Oh,
and so you've got to develop them. And so
even November versus September once they get in the fire.
Yeah, and then here's the other good news for Ole Miss is you start off with 2 or 3 games that you probably can afford a few mistakes.
Yeah,
it's the back half of the schedule when you got to kind of have this thing down a little bit, or else it might bite you.
Yeah, you get Troy, you get whatever the Austin P. Is that who it is? The next fairly easy game. Is it not Austin P? Who is it?
I don't know. It sounds right.
I don't know. Actually, now that doesn't sound right at all. So whatever. Whoever it is,
I'll pull it up.
I know the schedule as in like where the SEC games are, but I'm having a kind of a hard time with like week 2, week 4. Because like Tulsa's in there somewhere. Is that week 4? Georgia Tech's week 3, right?
It's Troy at home, Central Arkansas at home.
Okay, sorry. There we go.
At Georgia Tech,
and then Tulsa
at home.
There we go. Okay,
and then it's Kentucky at home,
and then Vanderbilt
at Vanderbilt. Yeah, look at you.
Yeah, I had the wrong FCS school.
Then it's Auburn at home, and then it gets real.
Okay.
You go at LSU, at Texas A&M back-to-back weeks. You get a week off. You come home to play Alabama. Then you go to Arkansas, and then 5 days later you get Mississippi State at home.
Well, look. So you get Troy, you get the FCS game. Georgia Tech kind of sucked last year, and it's not like Atlanta is going to be some raucous environment for you over there. I mean, you're going to take. Sure,
you ever been to Bobby Dodd Stadium?
Oh yeah, I mean, puts the fear of God in you. And then Tulsa. So no, you get that. I tell you, and I mentioned it to you. I mean, almost kind of just a joke on Saturday. And look, this is expected. Ole Miss is going to be a top 25 team in the preseason, coming off a 10-2 season. Lane did a good job in the portal. We've seen a lot of different football teams in the spring and in preseason camp over the course of the last 15 years. We've seen some good ones. We've seen some average ones. We've seen some really bad ones. You do get a quick sense of just looking at the teams on the field and going, okay, they look like a middle, lower, upper class SEC team and how they athletically appear on the field.
Sure.
You can't convince yourself that the bad running back looks like the good running back. You see it even in April.
People try.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I've read.
I tell you that Hiram White. I'm sorry, Hiram.
I've read the commentary.
Yeah.
I've
the
seen
point being, they look really good out there. Athletically, they look as good as most of the teams that have done well that we have seen on the field, and that's a start. I mean, that's kind of across the board. Look, there's some issues. I mean, they got some stuff to figure out by all. I'm not saying it's ready-made by any stretch of the imagination. However,
they passed the look test on both lines of scrimmage.
They do.
Offensive line depth, I think, is still a concern. I don't think there's any question about that.
A seventh lineman and maybe even a sixth is still up in the air right now.
I think there is some defensive line depth. I think they're more comfortable there than they've been in a long time.
Yeah, they don't have a star, but they're not bad there. They're kind of too deep. It's okay.
They don't have a star linebacker. They've got some good ones. And maybe
we're not seeing Austin Keys yet.
Yeah, and maybe he comes back as a star.
Yeah. Because we liked him.
Yeah. I don't know that they have any stars on the back end, but they've got a bunch of really good players and a couple of guys that I think could emerge as stars. Maybe not there yet. And it's April, and I'm just like, I refuse to go crazy on spring.
And Isheem Young's not out there.
Yeah. I covered too many spring practices, I guess, covering Tommy Tuberville, where he would come over and go, don't make a big deal out of this. We're only out here because everybody else is. This doesn't mean anything. Don't make a big deal out of who the A-Day MVP is. Trust me.
We're just running around.
Yeah. Because one year some kid won MVP as a wide receiver the A-Day game, and literally he found us like, don't do it. Don't do it. He's not going to play in the fall. And he didn't. So, so it's all good. But look, their running back room looks terrific.
It does. It's really, really good. It's the best running back room we've covered, and I understand what that means for last year. It's a better running back room.
I don't see a star wide receiver yet.
Wide receiver is an issue right now. Now, we're not seeing Jalen Knox.
No.
But
and the fact that we're not seeing him makes you go, what's the deal?
Yeah.
But, there's plenty of time. But so far, Triggs got a chance to be a star.
Athletically, he's there.
But now he's got to get –
he's young.
He's young. He's got to become more consistently physical. There's still some development there. He's going to walk out day one and be an all-SEC tight end? Probably not. Now, if you told me that in year two he's an all-SEC tight end, I buy it.
Sure.
But next year there's going to be some learning curve because this is his first year of college. Trying to think what else there is. Because we hadn't really seen the kicking game enough to know what it looks like or doesn't look like. They look good. I mean, if you told me, I'll pull that schedule back up again. If you told me that, I guess I'm going back to where I've been all along. If you told me that they're 6-1 or even 7-0 when they go to LSU on October the 22nd, I buy it. I mean, athletically, they're going to beat Troy. They're going to beat Central Arkansas. They're going to beat Georgia Tech. They're going to beat Tulsa. The first test of the season comes on October the 1st.
Kentucky.
When Kentucky comes in, and Kentucky's physical, and they're good, and they've been inside that program for a long time, and they're better in Lexington than they are out of Lexington, obviously. And then Ole Miss goes to Vanderbilt.
We've seen it. Hey, look. But no,
you stop. Yeah. And then
again, when you lose at Vanderbilt, that's on you, not them. That is your fault.
Yeah, sure.
That is your fault.
Clark Lee's a nice guy. I just don't know that he's a miracle worker. And then, Auburn goes to Ole Miss on October the 15th. It's the middle of who knows what. And Auburn probably doesn't want to play that game today. Maybe by the middle of October they will. Auburn's had a lot of success against Ole Miss over the years.
Sure.
I refuse to go, that's a W.
No, until they do it, that is what it is.
But, on paper today, I think Ole Miss is favored against Auburn. And then after that, who knows? I mean, you're into late October at that point.
And, yeah.
And then it gets, like I said, it gets difficult at that point. You go at LSU, at Texas A&M. You get Alabama, who is a preseason top 2 team. You go to Arkansas. It's tough to win in Fayetteville. And then Mississippi State will be desperate to win that game. So the second half of the schedule is different than the first, which is good for Ole Miss. Because I think if you flipped it, I would have some concerns.
Yeah.
Because, okay, I gotta win tough games with a young quarterback.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Who can't even settle in.
And now you get a chance to settle in, conceivably play both of them a little bit early, which would not shock me at all.
Jack Abraham was back in attendance on Saturday.
The question with Jack, and I have no idea. I would wonder whether he would come if both guys stayed. He's got options. Jack's got one season. He's not going to get another one.
And there are places where he can go play.
Sure.
A lot.
Yeah. Several places. They're trying to recruit him.
Yeah. No matter record, Doris has a good point. No matter record, Mike Leach have to beat Ole Miss this year.
Well, I don't.
You've been around a while.
But I don't know many people there.
7-5 and a loss to Ole Miss. What's his seat level?
It's hot.
Probably doesn't get him fired because we got more. I don't know, more if I were to win.
Depending on who you could get.
Yeah.
I mean, who can you get? Who's coming in and taking that program and going, here we go.
Yeah.
Because if you get that guy, well, then you do it. If you don't get that guy, well,
sure.
Maybe you ride it another year.
Yeah, no, I get it. All right, we'll continue football in a second. First about G&M Pharmacy, 662-236-2222. They're on South Lamar in Oxford. They deliver locally in the Oxford area, and they offer MedSync for your prescriptions the same day each month and take care of you. Also in Holly Springs with Tyson Drugs and with Right Way Meds, they'll individually package your medication for those who need that extra step. So, again, on South Lamar or on the square in Holly Springs, 662-236-2222.
Southern Traditions Farms, they've set their summer camp schedule. It's, May the 30th, a one-week camp, then another one on June the 6th, another that starts June the 12th, another that starts June the 20th through June the 24th. Monday through Friday, it starts at 8:30, ends at 2. Contact Susan Walt for more information, 601-278-7563. We're also brought to you by Grenada Nissan. If you're in the market for a Nissan vehicle, Grenada Nissan's the place to go. They've got a complete selection of new and previously owned Nissan vehicles, great lease deals as well. It's just off Interstate 55 in Grenada, GrenadaNissanUSA.com. You can go to deadsoxy.com, enter the promo code Rebel Grove at checkout, get 25% off all orders of the best socks you'll ever put on your feet. Again, deadsoxy.com, promo code Rebel Grove. My 10 thoughts are up at rebelgrove.com. They're brought to you by Game Changer Patches. They're the only 2-patch system available in the market to stop hangovers before they start. The warm-up patch is used before or while you drink. The overtime patch is used after you've been drinking to recover while you sleep. The all-natural ingredients will keep you in the game, ready for the next place. Go to GameChangerPatch.com, enter the promo code RebelGrove20 at checkout for 20% off your purchase. ACS is owned by my friend Clay McNutt in Baldwin, Mississippi. It's a complete electrical control system solution provider and a Rockwell Automation recognized system integrator. ACS has a full-time dedicated emergency service and troubleshooting staff and a UL 508A panel shop. They can custom tailor software packages, custom design electrical control panel solutions, and much more. It's ACSLLCMS.com or call 662-601-4381. And we're brought to you by Lammon's Fine Jewelry. Lammon's at 1126 North Lamar Boulevard in Oxford. They've been serving the Oxford area for almost 75 years. Engagement rings, wedding rings, fine jewelry, watches, pearls, fashion jewelry, children's jewelry, collectibles, and more. It's the gold standard in fine jewelry. Visit them at lammonsfinejewelry.com or call them at 662-234-2777.
Podcast is brought to you by Northeast Spark, NESPARC, 2 packages, 100 Mbps, or The Blaze, the 1 gig that powers the Clark Ford Studio, your hometown team, bringing you world-class broadband. That's nespark.com, 662-238-3159. Phone service available. Parental controls, network security, a wireless mesh extender, and more. So, again, call the office for details. Get the best internet in Lafayette County. That's 662-238-3159. We don't know updates on injuries, obviously, because Lane's not going to go there. Have more from him tomorrow. Tavius Robinson was in a black jersey. He was on the bike. I don't know what to make. Really, at this point, it's hard to expect much of Mark Britt at any point. He was on the bike, and then Brandon Mack was banged up. And that's just the constant with Mack has got to be frustrating with Kiffin because somebody who definitely looks better. Somebody who they have some expectations for, but just cannot stay healthy at this juncture at all. You mentioned the running backs briefly. Evans, I mean, he looks like a star, frankly. He looks different than most any back we've seen. I like Bentley a lot. He's shifty, moves around really, really, really quick. And then I did not watch as much of him, but it seemed like you were pretty impressed with Judkins on Saturday.
Yeah, I like Judkins. He's a good back. He's kind of a whole package. I mean, and he's in a good spot because there are other guys with more experience, and he doesn't have to, he can ease into it as well. Here's the thing about that room is I think this is positive. Zach Evans at TCU did not appreciate being 25 to 30 carries a game.
He wants tread on the tires later.
Yeah. And with this backfield, I think there are other guys that can share the load. But Evans is different. I mean, his combination of physicality and his ability to cut and make that second cut, he's a different cat.
His balance is so good.
Yeah.
He stays on his feet better, again, 2 practices.
Right.
More than –
But there's film of him, and he's done it at TCU, so he can do it.
He can run.
Yeah, and look, Bentley's had a lot of success at SMU, and I've always liked Kentrell Bullock.
What do you think Bullock's is right now? I mean, he I don't think he's lost in the shuffle by any means.
They played 4 backs last year.
He got a lot of carries on Saturday.
Yeah.
He's kind of the lead guy on Saturday, frankly.
Yeah, he started out with the ones, got a bunch of carries. Look, if you're going to do the whole young quarterback thing, which is true, it's not a narrative, it's fact. You want to establish a running game. It takes pressure off whoever is your quarterback.
He has plenty of time. Caleb Warren needs to clean up some snapping. A lot of errant snaps on Saturday.
Yeah.
Just kind of high, low, all over the place. Just affecting timing. I mean, frankly, Dart and Altmaier made some pretty athletic plays to kind of collect the snap and stay inside on schedule on the play at different times.
And that might have affected what they tried to do offensively. Because when you've got to take your eyes down to the ball and find the ball and come back up and
relocate everything.
You're probably going into your check down mode at that point. I've never played college quarterback, but I'm guessing. I'm guessing things are moving pretty quickly, and when you lose a second and a half doing that, you're probably looking for your outlet passes. Because they did that a lot on those plays.
We were told Reginald Hughes has had a good camp at linebacker, guy coming in obviously from Northeast, trying to fill some of those roles. They obviously have a lot of opportunity at linebacker. Troy Brown's been a little limited to this point. Again, Austin Keys still coming back from that injury last year. Tywan Malone was in shorts. He was there, but he did not participate, at least in the scrimmage portion. So I would assume that's a spring long thing. I don't know that. He just hadn't really been out there because he's been with the baseball team, obviously, but he did not travel to Lexington over the weekend. So those are the main things. Again, a lot of stuff at RebelGrove.com. Have Kiffin again tomorrow. More players on Thursday and another open practice, I guess, on Saturday. I've not heard no different, so I assume so.
That's my understanding. We were told that would be the deal all spring, and so far they've lived up to that. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we just get media afterwards, and then on Saturday we get no interviews, but we get access. Right. Because we're members of the public. They just let us walk on the field.
Yeah, we get the added benefit of being on the field. That's what we
Where
get.
You see a little less, actually. But
there are pros and cons.
But they would let us go sit up in the stands.
Well, we're allowed to take the press pass off and go where the general public can go.
You could even wear the press pass and go sit in the stands. I don't think they'd stop you.
No, they're being very sane. There have been other places, and even some strange rules at times where they go, hey, look, you're there as a media, but you can't really report anything. But then there's 1,000 people in the public who are all over social media. Go, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
So if I just took this off, I could go up there and say whatever the hell I wanted to say.
Yes.
Help me. I'm confused.
No, it's a calmer, saner spring so far.
It is. There is no circle of trust that I've seen.
Not yet.
Or the untrustables, I guess we should say.
Well, there was a circle of trust, and then there was the land.
The land of the
untrustables.
Right.
That's where
there were 2 bullseyes, weren't there? Weren't there like something else in the middle?
I can't remember. I just remember that VZ.
Because you had your teammates, so it was like Bolden and Neat.
Right.
And then.
So I was teamed up with VZ.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. Because we reported that someone.
It was DT.
We reported that he injured his knee when he Absolutely.
It was very obvious on the field.
Well, I heard it.
Who got mad? Beaumont?
Yeah. They threw us out.
Yeah.
And then got pissed off about the tweet.
That's right.
And all we said was that he'd been injured and that they were taking.
You didn't say it was an ACL.
No, even though I knew it was an ACL.
Yeah. But we don't have the ability to confirm that
Right.
on the field.
And he lost it. He was very unhappy. And we had the debate at that point about, well, in fairness to Mike at the time, the media contingent was pretty confusing. There were different types of people in the media. And I had to argue with Mike that I'm not part of the program. My job is not to protect it. He argued that that was part of my job. And I said it was not. And there were other people in the room who viewed it as their job to protect the program.
Those things are coming out anyway. The only time where I think they have a point is if there's a very serious injury where you want to let family know first.
Sure.
Otherwise, I mean, he sprained an ankle. We're all going to know in 20 minutes. Like, what's the damn difference?
Well, but if the knee's torn up, the knee's torn up.
Yeah, you can't.
I mean, I didn't say it was. I just said he had left with what appeared to be an injury, and that they were evaluating him.
True.
No one died.
They did not.
It was not a life-threatening injury.
Yeah, or we were all scared for DeMarcus Thomas,
Sure.
2 years ago,
Yeah,
or whatever
those
that
are
was.
different deals.
Yeah. Where'd he end up?
South Alabama.
Did he?
Yeah,
Okay.
playing a big role.
Is he?
Uh-huh.
Basketball or baseball? What do you want to do?
I don't care. I'm good either way.
Yeah, I'll hand you the gun or the knife. What do you think?
Well, the baseball thing's funny to me, in a lot of ways, because the weekend, the weekend on Friday is.
We kind of need to put whoops on every board member over the course of the weekend just to see some ranges.
On Friday, you win. You pitched really well. You get the late timely hit that gives you the win, but you didn't hit much, and so it's kind of angst.
Yeah, it was ugly.
On Saturday, you get beat, and it's the end of the damn world. And then on Sunday, you win handedly, and it's, yeah, but. and so.
Look, Ole Miss has problems. They do. They have problems. Maybe they went about fixing those problems a little bit. I don't know. We'll talk about that. God, we'll talk about it all week, all month, all year. But the question comes, and this, look, you got to compete. It's not being Pollyanna. It's not accepting. But what curve are we putting on this Tennessee series right now? Because they have
significant.
They have 2 road series wins at Auburn, at Kentucky. Going into the year, if you said, hey, they're going to win 2 out of 3 in Auburn and 2 out of 3 in Kentucky, okay, fine, move on. Good, move, all good. Now, you don't want to get blown the hell out twice. That is a problem because you're limiting your ability to maximize victories.
Sure.
When once a weekend, you're just getting the help out of you.
Sure.
That's bad.
It is.
Out of 30 games, that should only happen max 3 times, frankly, give or take.
For
10%.
a really good team.
Right, yeah.
And I think it's conceivable to go ahead and admit that this probably isn't a really good team.
No, because they were, look, again, that's why I kind of bring the Tennessee in, because, Vanderbilt's sitting here at 4-5-2 in the league. Now they've actually lost 2 series. Vanderbilt has a couple problems. They're having that early SEC season thing that they do have occasionally where they're prospects more than players. And they're all really, really talented, but it's kind of weird, and the roster doesn't necessarily work as well as some other years. But point being, had they lost yesterday, they were running into a math problem. Because if look, to host, if you're not going to really change expectations for this team, I don't think it's time yet to do that, is they had to get 17 and 13.
Mm-hmm.
16 and 14 is not going to host with this schedule, in my opinion.
Probably not.
Well, you lose yesterday, and that's 14 and 7 the rest of the way.
Tough.
So you've mitigated that. I thought they showed a lot of toughness yesterday to kind of get out of there, come back, get the win. Frankly, a toughness they haven't shown much this season, and kind of move forward. Tennessee just kills Vanderbilt. They outscored them 16-4 over the course of the weekend. They beat them up 3 days.
Real quick on Tennessee.
Yeah.
So I don't want to steal his thunder, but there's a story coming out, I believe, later today that one of the bats got tested.
Okay.
And it was way over the PSI.
Okay.
Evidence that
meaning it's been shaved.
Shaved and or rolled, I was told. Umpires were asked about it. They referred the interviewer the reporter to the SEC, who at this point had not yet responded. Does anything happen?
Okay, I'm not an expert on manipulating bats. Rolled, it's hard to prove because rolled just means you are taking a new bat and completely breaking it in and basically making the walls of the bat more hot and equal to if the bat was used for a long period of time. And you're also doing it uniform. So the entire bat is that level of hot versus if you just held the bat the same way every time, you're just hitting one spot. Just pow, 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 pow. Obviously, you're cheating. You are changing the dynamics of the bat.
You're giving it a trampoline effect.
But it's a trampoline effect that could be done naturally, I guess is my point.
Okay.
So proving that is more complicated than shaving.
Okay.
Shaving, they go in and literally shave and thin the walls of the bat to make more trampoline effect inside the bat. If you found out it was shaved, then we got a big problem. I think I guess my point is rolled would at least, unless you literally had the goods on exactly how it went and the chain of impact, it's hard to prove and there's so much plausible deniability that I have a hard time getting there that much comes from that.
Tennessee's answers over the weekend.
Well, look, even on Friday, Vitello sneakily trying to get the bat back. I mean, he was very focused on, hey, I kind of need that bat.
I don't think he got it back.
He didn't. No, the umpires were almost kind of pulling it from him.
They tested it.
Yeah. Now, I don't know what the penalties for this are, but no, it changes everything if it's doctored. Sure.
Anyway, but to answer your question, am I going, okay, well, Vanderbilt got swept. They're done. No, I'm not. I'm not doing that with Ole Miss either. Are they as good as Tennessee? No. Tennessee's the best team in the league, and it's not even particularly close.
No,
but Ole Miss is, I wrote this in 10 Thoughts, Ole Miss's next few weeks, I did it going into the Sunday game, so I guess I could go back and do the math, but I don't have it in front of me. But they play 3 teams that right now have losing records. And Ole Miss has a losing record. I get it. It's about league play.
Yeah, sure.
But they get Alabama, which is, I think, 4-5 or 3-6. Then they get South Carolina, who's 4-5. And then they get A&M?
No, Arkansas.
There's somebody before
Is
Arkansas,
there?
I think.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm off.
I don't know. Maybe I'm off a week, too. Yeah, they get Mississippi State here.
Oh, I thought that was – you're right. Yeah.
So they get Alabama, South Carolina, Mississippi State before they go to Fayetteville.
That's correct.
And then after Fayetteville, the teams they play have losing records. Arkansas has a winning record in the league. The next 2 teams after that, though, have – it's LSU and –
Is it Missouri or A&M? One of the other.
Missouri. I guess it's Missouri, LSU, and A&M to finish.
Okay.
And they all have losing records right now. So, look, the league is – I wrote this too. The teams that are normally good are kind of mediocre, and the teams that are normally bad are kind of mediocre.
Yeah.
So
it all went.
There's just a hodgepodge of stuff kind of behind. I mean, right now, if you're ranking, you have to put Tennessee 1, obviously, and then it's Arkansas and Georgia in some order because they've been able to find enough pitching to kind of win games.
But then Georgia loses the series against Kentucky.
Yeah.
I mean,
And then after that, it's, Florida's 3-6 right now. With Arkansas coming to town, I wrote that kind of feels big for the Gators. Like you lose 2 out of 3 to Arkansas this weekend, and you're suddenly 4-8. And the math gets complicated for Florida to get to 17 wins. You'd have to go 13-8 the rest of the way, and actually, you wouldn't even have that many opportunities because
you mean one more week? Yeah.
You only have 4 after 4 weeks.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Yeah.
You'd have to win 13 out of 18.
Yeah.
Good luck. You can, but challenging.
Tennessee thing, it's being investigated quickly, which is what's interesting to me. Is how fast everybody's going, hey, now something's up. Like, let's start.
Well, take a look at the kids who are putting up these numbers and look at their previous numbers. There's a certain Brady Anderson to it.
Yeah, I mean, Gilbert's a hell of a player and whatever, but they've got guys that are...
But he's never hit like this.
This was funny. Like, on the mound, they're just legitimate. We're talking about the offense.
Yeah, sure.
Like,
well, it's part of why I think they can respond the way they have to some of this is, hey, no one's hitting us. We're not juicing the ball. I mean, we're just throwing it right by you with heat. And they're really good. I mean, even if you came in and go, hey, guys, we're going to manage your bats from here on out, they're still the favorite in the league because they pitch it better than anybody else. And they do. When you watch them play, sure. They do. They have arms at the front of their rotation that change weekends.
Somebody said, how'd the Ups know to take the bat? Corbin alerted it in the first inning, and the sticker was wrong on the bat. They certify the bats with stickers every weekend.
Yeah.
Vitello said it still had the midweek sticker on it. I don't know. I have no clue.
Well, the kid said he knew it was a problem because he had seen the sticker fly off.
Oh, really?
That's what he said.
Well,
I mean.
Yeah, I mean, all SEC 26 on the stream. I mean, that's right. Things are moving very quickly for something that typically does not move quickly. Everybody's going, hey, you know. Jackson, thanks for the super chat. He says, "Can you explain to me how Calvin Harris he doesn't start more?" No. Look, the only way that it would make sense if he is dealing with some soreness or some days he just doesn't feel right, but that does not appear to be the case. I think they're just not playing him. Mike can get pretty set in lineups.
Mm-hmm.
He can. I mean, he really messed with the rotation to an impressive level the weekend, but
yeah, it worked.
He can get very set in lineups, and it's very hard. I mean, you look at it, I mean, it took a lot, including kind of deflecting on us the day before to give Peyton a day off. I put him right back in the next day. Like, he kind of gets a group, and that's the group. Because Calvin has been as consistent. Because I asked the question purposefully in case he did not play much over the weekend. On Tuesday night against North Alabama, I asked Mike, I said, we haven't really seen him. He's only had 16 career at-bats against left-handers. How does he do against them? And he goes, no, his swing's really good. He's short. He's going to be able to hit left-handers. We don't have a problem. So then play him. Like, it wasn't like a gotcha moment. I mean, if he goes, oh, no, he sucks against lefties. Well, okay, great. But I don't understand. No, I mean, I don't have much of an answer, and I know that's not a really good answer, but Calvin looks more competitive in his at-bats even when they're not working right now than a lot of guys. And frankly, he needs some at-bats. He was out for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, he kind of needs to get back in there and get at it. And he's not an elite Gold Glove left fielder, but he's all right out there. It's not going to kill you. Probably better than some other options. And look, some of their issue is they've got those 3 dudes, and it's 3 of their better players. They got to find a way to get them all in the game, especially when Kevin comes back, because Alderman has done a hell of a job improving his at-bats. He looks so much different than last year. And
sure.
Leatherwood has been fine.
Sure.
Leatherwood had really good at-bats over the course of the weekend. So, in a perfect optimal lineup, and it's where the Chatinier thing becomes really interesting, because he's just not hitting right now at all, is getting Bench or McCants into the infield gives you more ability to play these more outfielders and the DH and fill this thing in. Because, I mean, at some point you need Kevin, Calvin, Leatherwood, and Alderman all in the game. Well, there's only so many ways you can do that to make it manageable. So, no, that's the thing. I mean, we'll see. Kevin Graham going back to the doctor tomorrow. Get an update at that point on kind of what's going on. But, yeah, no, but to me, that is the next thing that Mike's got to do. He's got to get that optimal lineup in, because right now it's just it's not working. I mean, I thought they got a little contagious and got some sparks yesterday, and the at-bats were better, but they still went long ball heavy. That's not their problem. They've got to score without the long ball. That's the deal right now for Ole Miss. So.
Chicks dig the long ball, though.
Well, great. Wins don't. Podcast brought to you by Community Mortgage, Oxford, Memphis, Soto County, and Chattanooga. All underwriting and processing is done in Memphis. So you're getting local underwriting and understands your market. Leader in condo financing, the float-down option, and more. You can find Jason at 662-234-2704 or JLOWE at communitymtg.com.
We're also brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating, different names, same great products, same great services. It's actually the same people. It's just different names. If you live in Oxford, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, call Comer, 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, Memphis, DeSoto County, that area, get in touch with the people at Southern. It's 662-429-4429. The College Corner is your one-stop Rebel shop. 2 locations in the Jackson area. There's one in Ridgeland. There's one in Flowood. You can also go to collegecornerstore.com. Plus, you can find them on Facebook and Instagram, the largest selection of Rebel gear in central Mississippi. And we're brought to you by Pinnacle. Pinnacle, based in Madison, Mississippi. They've got clients in more than 20 states, advisors in multiple states. They provide detailed, specialized investment management, financial planning, retirement planning for individuals and businesses, and so much more. At Pinnacle, investing is treated like a commodity. Decisions are made using objective information and research, not emotions. So sit down with the people at Pinnacle. Go to mypinnwealth.com, MYPINN wealth.com. Also brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. If you're getting that summer trip all ironed out, you want to make sure that it's a special one that creates a lifetime of unique memories. Get in touch with John. Just give him some parameters, give him a budget, and let him give you options. And know this, you don't have to live in or near Memphis to take advantage of his services. 901-494-3387 or send him an email, jedwards@regencytravel.net. And we're brought to you by OPA, Oxford's newest restaurant on the square. Gyros, wraps, kebabs, fresh redfish, lamb chops, handcrafted cocktails, frozen libations, and more. Also an amazing candlelit patio. Now that the weather is so nice, be a fun place to go have dinner there at 306 South Lamar, just south of the Square Courthouse in Oxford. I'll have a mailbag to you on Wednesday at some point. It's brought to you by Whitney McNutt of Tommy Morgan Incorporated Realtors, serving you for all of your real estate needs in Oxford and Tupelo. Whitney sells condos, land, commercial, and residential family homes. You can reach her at 662-567-2573 or 662-842-3844.
Podcast is brought to you by Johnson Hill Creamery, johnsonhillcreamery.com, 662-419-9201. New lunch menu up there. That is an artisanal cheese shop, making all their local cheeses in-house here in Oxford, just off Molly Bar on White Oak Lane. They also have charcuterie, a bakery, catering, grazing tables, and much more. And with Easter here soon, their carrot cake is back in. You can go ahead and pre-order that thing. Pickup is April 14th, April 16th for the carrot cake. So again, johnsonhillcreamery.com. 662-419-9201. Let's see. State pulled one out against Arkansas on Sunday. Extra innings to get that one in.
That was a really good game. That was a really good game. Well played. Interesting with State. I didn't know they had that many arms. They had a bunch of guys really pitch well late in that game.
And that's been kind of out of nowhere because they have not played well.
Yeah.
After Arkansas really beat them up the first 2 days.
Yeah. Arkansas hit into some bad luck late. They had 2 on, and I think it was the 11th. 2 on with 1 out in the 11th, and Stovall up.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Van Horn did all the bunting stuff yesterday, gave outs away. I wouldn't have done it. I would not have done it. I hate bunts. Bunting is so stupid. You give outs away. Anyway, they had 2 on and 1 out, and Stovall just hit a rocket that the first baseman, I think it's Hancock, is that his name?
Yeah.
Made a really good play that kind of saved the game. And then the way baseball works, he ended up getting the game-winning RBI as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's how that works. When you make a play, you get to go.
Yeah.
But it was really well played. For Mississippi State, that was, if you have any semblance of, hey, they're not hosting. They're talking about making the postseason. They could not probably afford to get swept. And they pitched well. Their starting pitcher was pitching really well, and he got hit in the head with a comebacker. It was a bouncer, but I think it required a couple of stitches. And then they went to their bullpen, and their bullpen was really, really good. Credit where it belongs. And Arkansas pitched well. They got another good outing.
Starting to figure it out.
They got another good outing out of Wiggins, who pitched well. Both Wiggins and the kid for State early. It was actually, they were both throwing 97.
Yeah, because it was 3-3 at the end of 9.
And everything was home runs.
Mm-hmm.
But they were both throwing gas. Wiggins hit 97, I think, or 99, and the kid for State hit 97 or 98. They were getting it up there.
I want Robert Moore on my team. I want him to play for me.
He's a good player.
Whatever he's doing, I want him on my team.
The other kid for them that's really good is the third baseman. I can't think of his name right now. He hits at the top of the lineup. I can't remember. Anyway, that was a fun series to watch. Tennessee Vanderbilt was fun. I've made myself watch more. I turned it on in here on Sundays. And that was the late game, so it was still on.
Alabama coming off a series win at home against Texas A&M, so they lose 2 out of 3 to State in games they all gave away. They could have easily swept Mississippi State, and then
Alabama's plucky.
They're okay.
They're plucky.
4-5 in the league.
Ole Miss should beat them, but you'll have to play well.
Well, it's kind of the epitome of what we're talking about, because you look over here, and the next week Ole Miss plays South Carolina. The last 2 weekends, South Carolina's taken 2 out of 3 from Vanderbilt and lost 2 out of 3 to Missouri.
I told you this about Missouri, though, Chase.
Yeah,
they're not bad. They're not good. But they're like last year.
Bad is relative to the SEC.
Last year, Missouri was shitty.
Yeah.
And they're not this year.
They're 3-6 in the league. 2 of the wins coming this weekend at home against Carolina.
But if you go back and look at their series against Arkansas, Missouri could have won all 3 games.
And what's concerning for Carolina is you've got a rubber game at Missouri that, frankly, you need. You just got to find a way to win that game. And they don't just not win. They get hammered. They get beat 10-3 yesterday.
Yeah.
By Mizzou.
Yeah.
No, the whole league's,
I mean, look at it.
I mean, Georgia sweeps Florida, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
Georgia pitches it well enough that they have reason for optimism.
And they have Cannon on Friday, who's really good.
Yeah. Which is a recipe for a team like that.
In a league kind of devoid of frontline starters.
They've got a guy that on Friday night can just go get you wins and set up the rest of the weekend where, hey, guys, let's just win one of these 2.
Mm-hmm. So it's right in front of Ole Miss is get back to 500, get back at, they have got to be back ahead of 500 when they get done with State. In 3 weeks, you've got to be above 500.
Sure.
In the league.
Sure.
If you have a hosting thought at that point.
Where are they now? 4?
They're 4-5.
Yeah, they need to win 6 of the next 9. That would get you to 10-8 going to Arkansas, where if you got 1 there, you're fine.
Yeah. 11-10.
Yeah, then you
finish strong and get there.
Finish strong. You get Missouri at home. And
6-3 the rest of the way, 17-13, and with your reputation, you're probably okay.
You're almost certainly okay. Their RPI would be good.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to want to give some to SEC schools. There aren't. I mean, today, if you seeded the tournament today, and God, that would be really stupid, although there will be people that start to do it, probably only 3 SEC teams would host today. Tennessee would host and be a national seed. Arkansas would host, and I'm assuming Georgia would probably host. And after that, everybody else would kind of be SOL. But again,
it's a little early.
It's a little early for that.
Yeah, we're not at that point yet at all.
Yeah, let's give some credit to Kentucky over the weekend.
Yep.
Their uniforms, Ginger points this out.
They did not screw it up all weekend.
They were fantastic. I mean, really, their pinstripes were really good, and they had a cream uniform.
Cream was good.
It was really strong.
Their cream was really good.
Really strong.
No chrome helmets, no black in weird places.
No, it's real good.
Just blue and white.
Yeah.
They need to holler at the football team and go, see? Hey.
This is how you do this.
Yeah. They had their little American flag logo. Cool, whatever. Have at it.
No, that was good.
It's fine.
That was very good uniforms.
The Friday night was a good suit game, as you said. It was Ole Miss had their red and white on.
Mm-hmm. Good look.
I know you hate the white pants on the road, but otherwise it.
But it doesn't.
And then on Sunday, I know it's different shades, but they both went blue. They had blue on, which is weird.
It was fine. It was well done.
Okay, you were fine with it?
Yes.
The antithesis of that was Friday, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, when Tennessee wore some of their worst uniforms and Vanderbilt wore their black pinstripe pajamas.
Well, and then yesterday, Tennessee wears some sort of a pewter.
Yeah.
And Vanderbilt wears its army green. And it's an abomination, honestly.
You don't like the army green?
No, not really.
But it's kind of on Tennessee. You know Vanderbilt at home on Sundays is going to wear their army green.
Right.
So figure it out. Wear orange.
Wear an orange top. How hard is this?
I liked Vanderbilt's patriotic thing better when it was. I get it's not their colors. I liked their navy blue uniforms a few years ago.
Sure.
It was better than they're America's team.
Yeah. I mean,
it's fine. Only 4 teams in the league have winning records right now in the SEC.
Yeah. Who's the 4th?
Georgia, Tennessee, Auburn, and Arkansas.
Oh, Auburn. That's right.
Go figure. Here we are.
I can't.
Kentucky was okay. They're completely okay.
Yeah, they're fine.
They don't suck.
I told you that going into the weekend. I had watched them play already. They're okay.
There's nothing about them that scares you at all.
No.
And they're bad defensively. Frankly, most teams are bad defensively right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad defense.
It feels worse than usual for whatever reason. I don't know, but we'll get into basketball after the break in a minute.
I don't like
Yeah, go ahead.
Doing the uniform thing, and we'll
Yeah,
stop.
you're fine.
We'll stop.
You're good.
Ginger said Mississippi State with the gray looked bad next to the Arkansas ones yesterday. So Arkansas went with the cream, which is their best uniform. It's really good. It's really good.
Yeah.
And Mississippi State went with the gray. I don't like pinstripes on gray.
Oh, okay. Pinstripe should be a home white
It's
uniform.
a white home uniform, and it should be your go-to uniform.
Because Tennessee does that too. They have it's not white, but it's like an off-white with black pinstripes. It's kind of weird.
It's stupid. You frankly deserve to lose those games.
I'm trying to think around the league, and State can get bad with suits. Missouri, get out of the league. Like
It's awful.
Your uniforms, and then Tennessee. Everybody else, for the most part, doesn't screw it up. Even A&M holds it together as badly as they want to screw it up most of the time.
It's close.
I mean,
It's close.
Actually, all of State's throwbacks are really good. When they wear the V-neck with State across the front,
And
when they do their really traditional whites or creams, they're really good.
State's white pinstripe is very good.
It's a good suit.
Yeah. We're pissing some people off right now. I know that. Well, let's say Arkansas has a good Friday and a good Sunday, and I don't like the Saturday with the Arkansas Razorbacks. It's too many words.
Oh,
Just make it simple.
And then Arkansas wears their version of the grays that everybody hates for Ole Miss. They have the exact same suit.
Now, they took
is it gone?
It's gone.
Oh, okay. And apparently Ole Miss doesn't even own that top, or it just stays in the closet.
And without the thing, it's okay. It's fine.
Okay.
Not good, but it's...
I guess we blame Nike. Ole Miss had a really good traditional gray like 10 years ago. And then they started doing things.
And now they've just...
They don't wear it.
It's become a superstition at this point, obviously.
I mean, I am wondering, do you believe fan reaction has caused the absence of gray tops?
Yes.
Do you really?
That, and I'm sure some players are like, this is hideous.
I don't feel good pitching in this.
I don't like this. Because apparently, I guess I heard this on one of the broadcasts or something.
Okay.
The Arkansas kids did not like their road with the red thingy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I know a few years ago, Ole Miss, Nike had given them a new Navy jersey that felt different, and they all hated it to the point that they would start wearing their batting practice navies instead. It was one of the pitchers, I forget who it was, that hated it, and so they just wore batting practice Navy tops on the Navy day.
Oh. Why do you have to have a Navy day? I could simplify this so much for Ole Miss. I would make the powder blue, because it's a great uniform. I would make it my permanent road uniform.
You would just take it and wear it 3 days in a row?
Absolutely.
On the road?
Absolutely. They have washing machines.
Well, yeah, sure.
And then I would take the white pinstripe and I would wear it. So on the whites, Ole Miss used to have a white
great uniform.
That was a great uniform.
It's a really
I'd
good
go white
uniform.
pinstripe, the all white, and then the red top with the white pants.
And that would be your Sunday suit.
However you want to do it.
Okay.
Pick how you want to put that together.
So you're getting rid of the Navy tops.
Or use the Navy in the midweek. And if you wanted to, you could even take the Navy on the road and wear it with the gray. It's fine.
Just to switch it up occasionally.
You're not supposed to be awesome with your road uniform. You're on the road. It's work time. It is.
Neal's also the guy who really wants the name of your town on the front of your road uniform so everybody knows who you are.
Yes.
It is Yankees at home, and it is New York on the road.
It's Washington on the road, Nationals at home. Just there are things that make
because otherwise
sense.
we wouldn't know.
Well,
I don't know.
You assume. Don't assume that everybody who's there knows. You're Pittsburgh on the road. You're Pirates at home. It's just things that you do.
That was actually a thing.
You open your presents on the morning. Damn it! It's just there are things that you do. You open one present on Christmas Eve.
Why?
As a teaser.
That's a new thing.
We always did it.
Did you really?
And I'm 1,000 years old.
Did you really?
Yeah. And it wasn't a good one. You open like some random uncle's gift.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you don't get a main event.
No. Everything's
just an amuse bouche.
Yes.
Just a.
Exactly. They're just rules in life.
All right.
Yeah. The road uniform should be different than the home uniform.
We'll get to basketball in a minute. It's socially acceptable this week, probably the 1 week. Tiger's going to play, right? He's playing.
I think so.
Do you believe? And I know we don't know Tiger. We're speculating.
Hold on.
Sure, Mr. Woods.
Eldrick, please.
Yeah. Would he play if he didn't think he could at least be? I'm not saying win, but be competitive. He's not doing a ceremonial round, in my opinion.
I don't think so. I think he's going to try to go play. Look, nothing's going to do anything to damage his legacy.
No, he could shoot 98
And the players want him there for a lot of reasons.
TV
One, because they like him.
Yeah.
Two, the young guys grew up worshiping him.
Yeah.
And three, they know that this helps the
and
TV
he's become
ratings.
a bit of that level of figurehead where he plays with a lot of young guys and does that thing.
One of the highlights of their careers.
Yeah, the practice round on Tuesday at the Masters with Tiger Woods.
Of course. That's a photo you want.
Jonathan Wall, who's like the big gearhead for the PGA Tour, he pointed out that he's wearing a FootJoy Premier shoe this week, which is like a really like heavy support shoe, like not wearing a Nike, not wearing his normal shoes. Obviously, that's leg related, trying to get around that place, because that's what's interesting about it. It's not just Tiger playing a normal golf tournament. It's playing a golf tournament that is hilly as hell. It is a hard walk for 4 days.
Yeah.
So he's got to be in at least fairly decent shape to be able to get through that. If he ends up doing that, they're starting to release promotional videos here. Like I just don't see any way from a PR standpoint he's not playing unless he injures himself in the next 3 days.
Unless he gets out there and just sees that he can't do it. But no, everyone's cheering for him.
And he's already played 2 practice rounds in the last week out there.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's...
I think it was Billy Horschel who said he thought he was hitting the ball around 290 off the tee. It'll get you around.
Yeah. I mean, put that on my screen. I want to watch him play. Everyone's cheering for him.
Oh, I'd rather watch him shoot 87 than a lot of the other dudes shoot 66.
Especially early in the week.
Yeah.
On Thursday, yeah, just let me watch Tiger's round. Yeah, because everyone's cheering for him. He's become
beloved. There is no expectation.
No, he's beloved, and he was going to jack the ratings up, too. I mean, people like me who would otherwise not watch on Thursday, I mean, I'll watch the Masters on Saturday and Sunday. But
Back 9 Sunday, sure.
But I'm not locked into Thursday Masters. Sure. But Tiger's on? Yeah, sure. Because I want him to do well. Because what's the ideal story? He's not going to win. I know that. But what is the ideal story is that he's wearing his red.
But what if he did?
It'd be awesome.
But what if he did?
Yeah, I'd be in. He's wearing his red.
No, that's the goal. The goal is to make the cut. Let us watch you on Saturday and Sunday, even if it's 8:15 in the morning playing with Knox, the marker. I mean, like...
Sure.
Do that. Just make the cut.
I think we all just want to see Tiger do well. We all want to see Tiger be happy and all that stuff.
I said this a couple weeks ago, too. It's a father time element. We know we only get so many more rounds with Tiger. The back's going to give out. The leg's going to give out. Sure. Every time you see him, frankly, could be the last time.
Well, I'm only part joking.
Yeah.
Make it until Charlie's out there.
Hand it off, and then we'll watch.
Then we can watch Charlie. We cheer for Charlie.
Charlie is a PGA Tour player. Does Charlie wear red on Sundays? No, right?
Probably not.
No, right?
I don't know. Probably. I don't know. Obviously, I've never met Charlie. I don't know I don't know how he's wired. But not at first, anyway.
Or just you might do it as a commemorative thing occasionally for certain days or certain events or whatever. But yeah, no, let's.
I mean, Dale Jr. didn't switch to his dad's car.
Yeah, let's put our head down and grind.
Yeah.
Fair. Podcast brought to you in part by Prime Shrimp. They have released their new flavor. It is the garlic herb butter. I've been telling you about it for several weeks now. You put it over pasta, rice, veggies, or serve up some shrimp scampi, surf and turf atop a steak, or more. That's to go along with their French Quarter Alfredo, the signature seasoning, or the Louisiana shrimp bowl, a little spicier option for those who would like that. Again, 10 minutes. Freezer to plate, boil some water, throw the pouch in, be ready to go with restaurant quality shrimp. Again, primeshrimp.com. Use code MPW, $20 off your first order. Again, with primeshrimp.com.
We're also brought to you by Service Specialist Staffing and Recruiting Agency. They've been connecting great job opportunities to candidates since 1967. If you're on the job hunt, or whether you're seeking an entry-level position or a seasoned professional, they have opportunities across the board. Whether you're in IT, engineering, dentistry, accounting, law, manufacturing, human resources, or maybe you don't really even know what you're looking for, they can help you. Their goal is to get to know you, find your strengths, and see what you're looking for in your next career move so that you can find the right fit. Using Service Specialist is free for the candidate. All conversations are kept confidential. You've got nothing to lose by giving them a call. So reach out to Will, Sydney, or Kelsey at 662-832-5138 or check out their new and improved website at servicespecialistltd.com. We're also brought to you by The Rogue. It's your destination for fine men's clothing. Their stylish hand-select pieces from top designers, from work to lifestyle to nightlife. There's the perfect something for everyone at The Rogue. All the best items from Peter Millar, Martin Dingman, Jack Victor, Halsey, True Grit, Duckhead, and more. 4450 I-55 North in Jackson or therogue.com. Don't just accept what you see, but imagine something new. Step forward and chase after a better version of yourself. Every day, Corinth Dental is helping people reinvent themselves one smile at a time. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative, state-of-the-art procedures, including Invisalign. These clear aligners are the virtually invisible way to improve your smile. So call Corinth Dental today for a no-cost digital scan of your teeth. Let them show you the way to a straighter, healthier smile. 12 months, no interest, no down payment, financing available at corinthdental.com. And we're brought to you by Bell & Grove. Based out of Chattanooga, Daryl Oliver and Evan Dial built Bell & Grove, a logistics provider with more than 35 years of transportation industry experience. They specialize in domestic freight movement throughout the continental U.S. They can navigate through supply chain issues while also leaning on their partner carriers to get the most competitive rate possible for their customers. In addition, Bell & Grove can help customers design a custom solution for their shipping needs. Whether your business is in need of moving a truckload, a partial shipment, or a flatbed, Bell & Grove can accommodate you. They also provide both air and ground expedited services for customers who need to move product quickly. It's 865-672-6557.
Podcast is brought to you by Visit Oxford. Visit oxfordms.com. Go there to see the events going on today, this week, and every week here locally in Oxford, as well as places to eat, places to stay and more for big weekends, including Double Decker coming up before you know it. It is just less than 3 weeks away for that. So if you're going to get some reservations, time to really get on that. Frankly, you're already a little behind schedule. So take advantage of that today. Go to visitoxford.com, see different things for Double Decker for this weekend coming up. Alabama, a lot of people in town this weekend as well. Hotels have been a little sparse over the course of the last couple of weeks. So again, visit oxfordms.com. So as I mentioned at the start of the show, Ole Miss losing 2 assistant basketball coaches here in the past 5 or so days. Ronnie Hamilton headed to LSU, gets a bit of a reset, obviously, with Kermit in his current situation. That is not the situation at LSU, as they're going to give that guy a lot of time down there.
Yeah.
And then Levi Watkins going back home. He played at NC State. Their coach, somewhat on the hot seat too, but Levi's pretty well regarded. He'll be all right either way. My question, though, and you don't have an answer, but it's the topic, is that Ole Miss is talking about, Kermit has mentioned multiple times, aggressively attacking the portal, doing all these things, trying to fix a roster over the course of the situation. I think he's going to promote Lutz for one of the positions, but they don't have assistant coaches. They lost their top recruiter in Levi Watkins. You're trying to get into the portal. It just feels like an impossibility right now for somebody who has not been around this very much. Like the method to get this thing back on track, you've had a 5-day period where, if anything, you've moved even backwards into a lot more of a negative. I don't see barring some situations I'm not aware of, and again, I don't cover the sport, I don't really see how they're able to get the impact people out of the portal to make this movable at this point. I mean, that is the question, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There's still so many unknowns. Also, is Jarkel Joyner coming back?
He appears to be.
There were rumors that he would go with Levi to NC State, and maybe he will, maybe he won't. I don't know. Is James White coming back?
Don't know.
There are rumors that he might go with Ronnie to LSU. Is that true? I don't know. They lost Nas Brooks. He's out of eligibility. Appears they're going to add the center from Jackson State, who's a 6'7" back to the basket guy. Doesn't make a lot of sense in the kind of offense that they're going to run if Jarkel's coming back, where you're going to lean on your guards.
Is that indicative of their place in the portal?
I think so. That's what I think.
Mm-hmm.
Look, if the kid comes in and he dominates the league, awesome. Good for him. Good for everybody. But there's nothing to support that assertion.
Sure.
In much the same way that when they added Ty Fagan, you sort of knew what they were getting, and they got exactly what Ty did exactly at Ole Miss, what he did at Georgia, which would stand to reason because at Georgia you play the same schedule you play at Ole Miss. You're in the same league.
Yeah.
So but if guys leave, it does open up the potential to address the portal aggressively and fix some of the things that ail you. But look, Levi leaving was not surprising. The NC State rumor had been out there for a little while. There was always talk that Nate Oates was going to try to get him on the Alabama staff. The staff opening didn't happen at Alabama because the assistant there didn't get the Southern Miss job because the Southern Miss job didn't open up.
Right.
But Ronnie Hamilton leaving, that's significant because that tells you that Ronnie wanted to go someplace for more security.
Well, no, to me, that's the one that makes complete sense. I mean, Levi's potentially the one that's looking for a job soon, but again, he has some capital built up in the industry. He'll be all right.
He'd be okay. And I'm going to guess that he got a multi-year deal at NC State, that he got protected.
Right, of course.
Otherwise, it really is, whoa.
He got a 2-year deal, probably.
I'm guessing, yeah. And I don't, so here's the problem for Ole Miss right now, beyond the other coaching staff spot.
Mm-hmm.
If you're an assistant who's got a gig somewhere, now if it's a step up from a community college or something, it's one thing. But if you're going to go out and hire a legit recruiter who's already at the D1 level,
how are you convincing him to do that?
I mean, if I'm him, I'm like, hey, I need a multi-year deal. If you're Keith, are you giving out multi-year assistant deals right now?
Kind of catch-22, isn't it?
I'm probably not. What signal does that send? And I do think signals matter. They went 4-15 in the league. That's what they were. And there were a lot of statements that were made about you're going to aggressively attack the portal, and you haven't yet. Maybe you have, and you're not having any success. There was a comment about, it was a mistake to add 4, and then you add 4 again on a year when you probably needed to attack the portal just super hard, but maybe you don't have the NIL resources to attack the portal. I don't know exactly, what's going on, but and then I wrote about this last week. I'll mention it here. It's just rumor, but it's a rumor that doesn't go away at all. There's a rumor that, Morrell's got lots of opportunities. That doesn't mean that Matt wants those opportunities. It doesn't mean that Matt's going to leave for any of those places. It doesn't mean that at all. For all I know, Matt might have already decided that, hey, there's no way in the world I'm ever leaving. I'm happy as a clam here.
Yeah, sure.
Certainly possible. I don't know. But it feels like there's just kind of a lot of unknown here on April the 4th, and got about the next 2 or 3 weeks to sort it out.
That's what I was going to say. What is time frame of portal for basketball right now?
End of April, the latest. I mean, your signing day it's the other unknown is, do all these guys that were committed, and probably reach out to them and ask, all these guys that were committed, do they ask out of those NILs now that 2 of the assistants are gone? I don't know the answer.
Oh.
And it's kind of standard operating procedure in basketball. If they ask out because of a coaching change, you let them out.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I got it.
But look, it's win or else next year, right? I mean, it's you.
Well, of course. I mean, we all know that.
You got to go to the tournament in all likelihood. For this team to go to the tournament, they probably have to go at minimum 11-7 in the league, because Ole Miss typically doesn't schedule the same way that Alabama and LSU schedule.
Sure.
Being honest. Alabama scheduled its way into the tournament. LSU scheduled its way into the tournament. You can hate those programs, whatever you want to do, but you have to look at their schedules and go, okay. Ole Miss typically doesn't schedule like that. They didn't schedule like that under AK, and they haven't scheduled like that under Kermit. So if they do schedule like that, they're breaking kind of a 16-year trend that I've watched.
Which would just be them breaking a trend.
Which, okay. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing that's happened in the last 16 seasons for me to look at it and go, oh, yeah, they're going to schedule super aggressively. And it might not be possible. They might not have the cachet as a program to pick up the phone and call Blue Bloods and say, hey, we'll come to your place.
No, typically in the past it's taken deals, really in place.
So, we'll see. But there's two ways to look at things when you have adversity strike, and I wrote this in 10 Thoughts. You can either go, hey, everyone's jumping off a sinking ship, or you can go, this is opportunity. And if you're Kermit and them, you have no choice but to go, this is opportunity. And try to add from the portal and strike gold and find some people. It's pretty obvious what you need if you're going to if you're going to build your roster, as you should, around Deshaun Ruffin and Matthew Morrell. You need at least a couple of guys in the post who can provide rim protection, who can rebound, and then you need wings who can make you pay when you collapse on Ruffin. You got to have guys who can make shots, 36, 37% or higher from three. That's what you need. Can you get all that in the portal? I don't know. But that's what you need. Because some of the narrative, it falls apart upon, and I feel like I'm being a jerk here, and I'm not trying to be. I'm catching myself and trying to dial it down before I even say it. But when you say this was an NCAA tournament team without the injuries, okay, then why are you running guys off? If you were a tournament team before the injuries, would you not want Luis Rodriguez back? Would you not want Austin Crowley back? Would you not want Sammy Hunter back? If you were a tournament team before the injuries and you're getting the injured guys back, wouldn't you want the rest of the team back to prove that you were a tournament team? I struggle with some of that. And I'm a word person, so I've picked that statement apart, obviously, probably harsher on it than it deserves to be. It was just a media relations statement. Those are always propaganda. But I do wonder sometimes, do you read what you're putting out? Do you hear yourself talking? We were a tournament team before the injuries. I really believe that. And I think Kermit believes that.
Sure.
And so if that's the case, then why are you running off key components from that team when you're going to get those three guys back? Robert Allen's conceivably coming back. Jarkel's, if in this scenario, coming back. And Deshaun's going to be fine by November. If you believe that you're a tournament team with those guys, well, you're getting them back. Why tear apart the rest of the roster unless you feel like you can add impact from the portal? And then you say, we're going to attack the portal harder than any team in America. I think those were the words. And so far, that's not the case. Or you're not getting the success. Your attack is...
Or you don't have the ability.
Or your attack is not producing fruit.
Yeah. Which is kind of the point. I mean, that's kind of my thinking. There's one method to fixing this in a year, and they may not have the resources to do that. Which... full circle back to the whole thing of then what and why. So, yes.
At least you all don't have to worry about being a Thunder fan.
Well, you're winning games. Congratulations.
Jeez.
Proud of you. Yeah.
That's when you know you're doomed. When you need to lose, you know it. Everyone knows it, and you go beat the Suns by 20.
Suns.
Beat the Suns by 20. When you need to lose and you're too good to lose, but you're not good enough to win. That's no man's land.
4-game week this week for Ole Miss. They are in Pearl tomorrow, Southern Miss for that one. No streaming for that game. There's never any streaming at Trustmark Park. And then this weekend, Alabama, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think at 2 o'clock start on Saturday. Those start times have been kind of all over the place lately, but I think it's 2 on Saturday.
Want me to pull it up real quick?
Yeah, sure.
I can do that. Going as quickly as I can. My little computer doesn't
good.
like me, but we're getting there. All right, let's see. Ole Miss this week. Southern Miss at 6 p.m. on Tuesday. Yep. Alabama Friday at 6:30. Saturday at 2. Okay. Sunday at 2. The Sunday game is the SEC Network game.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
It was last year,
Friday
too.
And Saturday are SEC Network Plus, meaning there will be streams. Tuesday, as you mentioned, there's no stream. And then next week, it's Murray State, the 11 a.m.
That's the kids' game.
And then at South Carolina games at 6, 6, and noon.
Columbia.
In Columbia.
Ole Miss moved up to 9th in the U1 baseball top 25, one spot from 10 last week. So there's that. Back with you tomorrow. I'm sure there'll be plenty of other things taking on the sports world. Again, the national championship game for basketball tonight, 8:20 Central start for that one, the Tar Heels and the Jayhawks. So have a good day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.